Hello everyone, Jai Hind and welcome to the platform of StudyIQ IAS in English. And I was reading an opinion article that was written by Shashi Tharoor, and it says that we have about 500 million tons of the gold, but at the same time, we are not mining it. So what is the India's gold mining paradox that we will be talking about in this video, and what is our way forward to the economic sovereignty? At the same time, this article, it just hit me that why is India a golden bird that is importing its own wings? So let's talk about the article in detail and also what is the actual the scenario when it comes to gold mining in India. When it comes to gold, so we import gold, and the complete import bill, it is quite massive. Gold is the second largest import item after the crude oil that is there in India, and we have a tendency to, but there is gold. Gold is seen as you can say a kind of security for any kind of future, any kind of problems that a person will get into. So therefore, we invest in gold whenever we find the time or we have the amount to invest. The Indians, they generally, what they do is they invest in the gold for a secure future. Ultimately, what happens over here is that this creates a trade imbalance, because when we are spending lots of amount on the import bill, so that what it does is it widens the current account deficit, and ultimately there is a resource potential that has been put forward by this report. And not only this report, but the Geological Survey of India as well, that suggests that India has about 500 million tons of the gold ore that is there. Now, at the same time, despite having this much high potential, the domestic production has remained less than 1% of the global output as well. All right, that is to be understood over here. Now, when it comes to the background, India at one point of time, it was historically a major producer where the Kolar and the Hutti gold mines, they were producing enough gold for India. At the same time, the Kolar gold mines, they were closed in 2001 because of the high extraction cost and even the low ore grade that is there. So right now, it is the Hutti mines in Karnataka. They are the only major producer which is left with India, and India consumes near about 25% of the global gold. But at the same time, we are not producing much, or we are producing almost none. Now, when it comes to the key facts and the data, so we have total ore reserves as per the Geological Survey of India near about 501.83 million tons. But at the same time, the primary gold metal or the production or what can be extracted is only about 600 tons. The import volume is near about 800 to 900 tons per annum, and most of the import of the gold we are doing from countries like Australia, Ghana as well as Peru. India is the second largest consumer, but we have very low production of the gold, and the major states where this gold ore is located is in Bihar, which has the highest ores, as well as we have Rajasthan, Karnataka, West Bengal and Andhra Pradesh. But major of the production, it is happening from the Karnataka itself. Now, these are the certain key stakeholders when it comes to the gold mining. We have the Ministry of Mines that formulates the policy. Along with this, it regulates the gold mining in India. Under this, we have GSI, or the Geological Survey of India, and MECL. They are the important organizations which are important for preliminary and the detailed exploration of various minerals in India. At the same time, there is IBM, or Indian Bureau of Mines, that is responsible for inspection and conservation of the mines. There is the state governments as well, which have the ownership of the land and they have the mineral rights, as well as we have the private players who are the potential investors for the technology as well as for the capital for mining in India. Now, this is very important for your prelims, that you must note where we have the various gold mines which are located in India. So, Karnataka is the leading producer that accounts for 99.07% of the total production. The rest of the gold production, it is reported from the Jharkhand. Hutti is the biggest gold mine that is there in India, in Karnataka, and it has 16.38 million metric tons of the gold reserves. So we have Hutti gold mines which are there in Raichur district in Karnataka. Along with this, we have Kolar gold mines as well in Karnataka, which had been closed Now they are located in Kolar district in Karnataka itself. Then we have Ramagiri gold mines which are in the Anantapur district in Andhra Pradesh. We have Jonagiri gold mines as well which are in Kurnool district of Andhra Pradesh. Then we have Lava gold mines in Chandil in Saraikela. Alright, we have Kundru gold mines as well. Both of them, they are located in Jharkhand, and Sonbhadra gold mine which are located in Uttar Pradesh. So these are the important gold mines, and again you must have seen that in the UPSC, in the prelims, sometimes the question is asked about matching the region with their the mines with their region or the state. Now when it comes to the complete news, this complete news has the economic implication as well, because when it comes to the import of so much of the gold, and gold is the second most important imported item after the crude oil, so this has an impact on the foreign reserve, and ultimately billions of dollars they are spent annually for the import of the gold in India. At the same time, there is a possibility and the potential that if we develop the mining of the gold and we move forward with the policies to develop this sector in India, so that will lead to creation of thousands of high skill mining jobs in India, and also there would be royalty and the auction avenues that will be for the state governments. And ultimately, when the gold mining sector will develop in India, that will have the impact, the multiplier impact over the development of mining related infrastructure as well as the machinery in India. All right. Now, what are the governance hurdles when it comes to the mining sector as gold mining sector is concerned? The first thing is the regulatory hurdles, because when it comes to the regulations, there are lots of the clearances that has to be taken for the mining, whether it is the forest clearance, whether it is the environment clearance, or even the mining plan clearances which had to be taken. So that is a hurdle when it comes to the extraction of the gold in India. At the same time, there are incentive gaps as well. There is lack of first come first serve incentives for the exploration, and that is why the private players, they are not interested in exploring the avenues for the gold mining. At the same time, when it comes to taxation, India has one of the highest effective tax rates when it comes to mining globally, and even there are legal tussles because there are disputes over mining leases, and also whenever it comes to the laws. So we know that there is no ex post facto law or legislation when it comes to the criminal laws. But at the same time, when it comes to mining laws, they could be retrospectively, they could be changed, and therefore there is a scenario where the private players, they do not want to come forward and work towards the development of the gold mining sector in India, despite that we have so much of the potential. But not just this, not just the hurdles of from the policy side, but we have certain implications over the society as well. Because when it comes to the tribes, so there would be tribal displacement, because most of the reserves, they are located in the mineral rich ecological sensitive region or the tribal areas. So there will be displacement of these tribes. They will have to be, they have to be moved from their place, their own place, to the other places. All right. And at the same time, when it comes to the resource, so there is the risk that the local communities, they will remain poor while the resource, a valuable resource, will be extracted from their region. So this is what we call as the resource curse. At the same time, there are the deep mining risk as well, because the gold is not found in the shallow region. It is found very deep seated, and ultimately this requires quite intensive energy and water to extract the gold. At the same time, there would be chemical pollution risk as well, because there is the use of cyanide. Even mercury is being used for the gold processing. So there could be chemical pollution risk that would be there. Now, when it comes to the scenario of gold mining in India, so we can see that during the phase of 1947 to 2000, the complete mining was led by state. There were Bharat Gold Mine that was located in Kolar. The Kolar fields or the Kolar gold mine, they were basically mined by Bharat Gold Mines. All right. Later on, at the same time, they were highly regulated. The complete gold mining was highly regulated, and the focus was on the self-reliance. But at this point of time, we had very low technology. From 2015 to 2025, we have seen that there is a shift to auction-based regime, because when it comes to mines and minerals, development and regulation amendment that was brought, and the first come first basis was deleted, and now there is a shift to the auction-based regime. At the same time, there is National Mineral Policy 2019 that was formulated, and this mineral policy, it actually is very important, because now the private investors, the private players, they had been encouraged to take part, to take lead in the extraction as well as the mineral development, the mining development in India. At the same time, in the future, we could see that there is possible privatization of the Geological Survey of India exploration wing, and also we have seen, or we will be seeing, that there will be deep sea mining explorations that would be taken. Already we are undertaking lots of deep sea mining exploration activities in the central Indian Ocean basin. But at the same time, this all have a challenge as well as certain issues as well. Because when it comes to the gold ore in India. So the gold ore that is there, the grade is quite inferior. Because Indian gold ore is often 0.5 to 2 grams that is extracted from just 1 ton. At the same time, the global average is higher, and globally it is about 5 grams that is extracted from a ton. So therefore, the gold ores that are there in India, they are quite inferior. At the same time, there is technology gap, because there is lack of expertise in deep hole drilling in India and also underground mining. Also, there are the financial risk, because when it comes to exploration, it is a high risk with low success ratio. At the same time, when it comes to the gestation period, they are quite long, because it takes about 10 to 15 years from the discovery towards the first production that we have seen. Now, when it comes to development of gold mining in India, so ultimately that will help India into achieving lots of things. That is, it will reduce the current account deficit, because we'll be relying less over the import of the gold. It will also strengthen the rupee, because it is the RBI that manages that creates a bullion stock. So ultimately, it will also strengthen the rupee in Indian economy, and it will create the domestic value chains for India. But at the same time, if we have to develop the gold mining in India, we have to tread carefully, because we have to see that the ecological costs are more than the economic gains. Then we do not have to move forward, because it is very important that the economic gains and the ecological costs, they should be balanced wherever we are moving forward with the development. At the same time, there is potential for the gold mafia. I am very sure that you must have seen the KGF movie. Alright, the KGF, that is all about the gold mining operations, and that shows how gold mafia, they have flourished wherever we have the gold mines. So ultimately, there is potential for the gold mafia as well, and as well there are potential for the corruption. So we have to tread carefully. At the same time, when it comes to the gaps, there is a severe gap or significant gap when it comes to the minor gold mines or the minor gold deposits. We do not have a dedicated policy in India that is for the minor gold deposits, which are numerous, but they are quite small. So we must develop a policy for the minor gold deposits as well. Now, what is a way forward? The way forward could be summarized by an acronym, that is TRASDI. Or TRASDI means actually tragedy, but actually this strategy or this acronym, it is the way forward for the gold mining in India. That is, we have to have a transparency where the complete geological data, it must be digitized, and the National Geoscientific Data Repository must be maintained. At the same time, there should be accountability, that is, there should be a fixed timeline for all the environmental as well as the forest clearances that should be there. At the same time, there should be sustainability as well, where we should adopt the green mining technologies while going forward for any mining, not just gold mining, but any mining in India. At the same time, there should be decentralization, where more power should be with the state mineral corporations for the smaller mines that should be provided. At the same time, we should incentivize as well. We should incentivize, and in incentivization, we must look forward for the right of first refusal for the successful explorer. Now, the main problem that we have in India is that the private players, they do not want to come forward for the exploration. why they do not want to come forward for the exploration is because after exploration they are explored, alright, and then if by the auction what will happen is that the bid will go for the mining to the another player. What is the benefit for them for exploring that particular site? So therefore, what right of first refusal do? It gives the right to the explorer that in the case if there will be an auction, then they can bid against the highest bidder. And suppose the highest bidder has said that $100 billion. So they can raise their bid above that highest bidder and they can take part in the bidding process by just competing with the highest bidder. That is, they have the first right of the first refusal. So that is how we can implement this and incentivize the exploration of the minerals development in India. And ultimately by the 2019 National Mineral Policy, now mining has been considered as an industry. So ultimately there is quite a good possibility that we will be able to mine the various minerals and especially gold, which is very important for balancing the current account deficits that we have right now. So India must transition from being a passive consumer to the active producer when it comes to the gold, and unlocking the 500 million tons of the gold reserves that we have. It is the economic necessity so that we may build a step closer towards Atmanirbharta or self-reliance. So that would be all in today's session and today's video. Now, before moving ahead and ending the session, ending this video, let me tell you that you can join me on my Telegram channel just by scanning this QR code or by searching me at @Bhanwar_StudyIQ. That will be all in this video. Please do not forget to leave a like. Also, share this session with your friends and do subscribe for more such future updates. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care and Jai Hind.